Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. So today I have the Cold Steel Voyager XL in the Vaquero style blade. Now I just recently did the Tonto style version and I'll leave a link up to that video. You guys can check that out if you guys haven't seen it already. But I basically go into more depth about the knife and show how I create the scales. But basically, as you guys can see here, I already slightly modified the original scales and built off of it. And so I'm going to copy this style of scale since I got rid of a few of the finger choils and just rounded off certain sections, made it a little bit more flat and streamlined, basically like the original Voyager, or as close as to it as I could get. And same with the Tonto style knife, I'll be getting rid of the lanyard hole, the left side carry, and then also bringing down the new scales down to the liners, and then doing a pattern on the lock bar, and then creating a new backspacer out of brass for the Vaquero style blade. So in the customization part of the video, I'm basically going to show you guys how I created the pattern on the lock bar, and then how I created a brand new backspacer. In this case it'll be the brass backspacer, but I did exactly the same thing with the G10 carbon fiber backspacer on the Tonto style. So with that being said, let's just take this thing apart and see what we got on the inside. Alright, so here it is all taken apart, so let's get to customizing it. Alright, so here it is all customized. Now, let's start with the scales first. So Matthew and I decided, well mainly Matthew decided on trying to achieve the old school Voyager look, or the original Voyager. So we got rid of a few of the finger choils, especially the ones back here, you can notice that. And then I rounded the back section off just a little bit more to match the original Voyager. I'll leave a picture up on screen, you guys can check out the differences between this one and the original Voyager compared to the new one. So you guys can see we tried to achieve it, and I think we got pretty darn close to kind of mesh the old with the new. and it's a slight little adjustment, but I think it's going to make a huge difference, especially in the grip. You're not going to have anything really in the way, and you can get different style grips on this, I guess, simpler design as the original was. And also another thing we did with the 3/16 material, I took off just a little bit of material from the 3/16, and then for the green ones, or the 1/8 inch material, I just basically made the 3/16 a 1/16 thicker than this one. So we wanted to go right in between, and believe it or not, it does make a pretty big difference, and it does feel a little bit better in hand. Now for the lock bar and the backspacer, I did a different type of texture just to keep it looking different from the other one, since I did that random rock pattern texture on the other one, and just so we have a little variety. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. And then the backspacer, instead of the black G10 carbon fiber, I used brass, one of my favorite materials. So here is the backspacer. Really cool, same design, and then I actually went all the way around, so even on the inside. And it gives a really cool reflection on the liners. And once it's put together, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But I took a lot more material out here, made it thinner, and then I took material out here just to make it lighter so that it's not so heavy on the knife. And then I was going to drill here, but then I remembered I need some strength back here so that this doesn't break. Even though there's a pin here that gives it strength, I just wanted to make sure I didn't make it too weak back here for the tension bar. But that is pretty much it. So anyways, let's put this thing together and see what it looks like. Alright, so here it is all said and done. And I am really happy with the outcome. And I believe Matthew will be too. But here is the backspacer and then the lock bar. So that pattern continues all the way to the lock bar. And yeah, I think the brass clashes very well with the black. Gives it a fancier look. A royalty look to it, but there it is. Let me know down below what you guys think, especially with the brass and the slight modification to the handle. Again, trying to imitate the original Voyager. And one thing I forgot to mention is that we decided to go with the flow of the choil. So the original just had a bump that went right across. It didn't even have this front finger choil, so we decided to just continue the liners and the scale into the blade here, so you have that nice rounded finger choil effect, and you can actually choke up on this knife just a little bit better and with a little bit more comfort. I did have to recess the pocket clip just a little bit, just so it sits into the scale and so that the hardware reaches down into the liner. So you can see it doesn't pass all the way through, so it won't affect the blade. And like I mentioned before, if you look inside, you get that nice reflection from the backspacer. Just a really, really cool effect. And that pattern looks really, really good on the inside as well. I didn't really have to, but since this is a custom, you kind of have to add a little something in there just to make it a little extra special. And what's really nice is I took enough material off the backspacer to actually make the balance actually right in the center of the front finger choil. So I'm not going to sit here and say that's exactly what I wanted, but I accidentally achieved it. But even if it wasn't balanced, I probably would have taken a little bit more material off the brass backspacer just to get that effect. And overall, just really happy with the outcome. So I'll give you guys a quick look of it opened. Backspacer and lock bar. And again, just let me know down below of what you guys think of the new look, especially with the shape of these scales. I always appreciate you guys' comments. And I'll show it to you guys closed. Definitely allows that blade to shine more. And it just looks, the blade itself just looks more massive in there. So now that we got to look at the black scales, let's do the green scales. And I'll put these on with the power of editing. They will be changed. And here it is in the OD green peel ply scales. Super happy with the green ones as well. And obviously these ones are the 1/8 inch thick. So the standoffs or the stop pins are actually popping out just a hair more, but they don't get in the way, which is nice. And it does give it kind of a neat feature in my opinion. There it is with the pocket clip. I didn't have to countersink the pocket clip since these are so thin, and everything fits up nicely. So really happy with the green ones as well. Everything functions really good. Has that drop shut action that you'd expect from the triad lock, which I'm always hesitant about doing. And then I barely went down with the hardware screws, or the body screws, just so they have somewhere to sit nicely. But I also didn't want to make it too deep, or the recessed area too deep, and then you have two screws fighting each other, and then it would create a gap. So I had to keep my eyes peeled for that, just so we don't run into that issue. Again, super happy with both of them. Let me know down below if you like or prefer the green over the black. I'm a fan of the black ones myself. So, but happy with both. I think the brass and this design goes really good with either one. So there is the cold steel Voyager with the Vaquero blade and the custom OD green and black peel ply scales. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate you guys' support. And the giveaway knife is just around the corner. I know I keep saying that, but it is going to be coming up pretty soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that video. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one.